Okay, so I was talking about what a student had here. Um, she actually had this information here. She had frogs eat other frogs, and frogs are different from frogs. She had that information up here for the topic sentence. But those are details. Frogs eat other frogs. Frogs are different from toads. That is not the main idea of the text. Okay, the main idea of the text was it provided the text gave interesting facts about frogs. So I'm just going to write that. Okay, the text gave interesting. The text gave interesting facts about frogs. Or I even can say that the author wrote a book explaining facts about frogs, something like that. Okay. Now notice this is just a rough draft. So I can say the text gave interesting facts about frogs. Okay. That's the main idea. That's what it was mostly about. Okay. So now I need two details. Okay. So I'm looking at what she has here. If you see a frog on the bright colors, do not touch it because it's poisonous. Okay. That's the detail, but let's change it a little bit. Frogs that have bright colors are poisonous. That's what we should type there. Frogs that have bright colors are poisonous, are poisonous and dangerous to other frogs. Okay. Now I know the text in the text, and you got to open the book. Okay, this is what some of you do not do. Go back to the text that talks about that. Okay, here we go. Right here on the next page here. Okay, these colorful frogs may look pretty, but watch out. These frogs have poison in their skin. Their bright colors warns enemies not to eat them. So I want to use that as part of my detail over here. Okay, so frogs have bright colors. Frogs have bright colors, are poisonous, and are dangerous to other frogs by warning them not to eat them. Okay, frogs have bright colors, are poisonous, and are not dangerous. Okay, so I need to change this around a little bit. Okay, frogs that have bright colors are poisonous and warn other frogs not to eat them. Well, it's not other frogs, it warns other enemies. That's what the text said. Warns. And if you read a lot of books, I can, instead of me saying enemies, I can say predators. Frogs that have bright colors are poisonous and warns other predators, animals that eat them, not warns other predators not to eat them. Okay, that's one detail there. Okay, here's another detail. Each frog has its own sound. Okay, that is true. Okay, that is a true fact. Okay, I believe that's over here. Let's see. Right here, frogs make different sounds for different reasons. Each frog has its own sound. Yeah, that is true. Okay. Each frog has its own sound and they make different sounds for different reasons. So that's what I want to use for my detail. Okay. So each frog has its own sound. Instead of me saying each frog has its own sound, I'm going to say frogs make different sounds for different reasons. Okay. Here's another detail. Frogs are different from toads. Okay, I'm not going to even use those details. I only need two. So I'm going to take that out. Okay, and I might want to put some examples here. Frogs make different sounds for different reasons to support this. So I might even put this. Okay, for example, come back to the text. Okay. Okay, making the lake frog makes a sound, and the coqui frog does too. Okay, over here, it's giving me the definition, I guess. Yeah. Okay, I can say this. For example, frogs warn other frogs of danger, or they call to nearby frogs. Okay, so that's what I can write. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to my SPO. Frogs make different sounds for different reasons. For example, some frogs may make a sound. For example, some frogs make sounds to warn other frogs or call nearby frogs or close by frogs, something like that. Okay, so now I just need my conclusion. Okay, and I know everybody's used to saying clearly. Okay, that's a good transitional word or linking word to use for the concluding sentence. But you also can use finally. You can use in conclusion. You can use in short, in sum. Okay, so I'm not going to even use clearly anymore. I'm going to use finally. Okay, and she said, finally, you know about frogs now. Okay, let's go back and look at the topic sentence here. The text gave interesting facts about frogs. I need to say something like that. Finally, we learned some interesting facts about frogs. Okay, and I may not want to use interesting. I might need another synonym for interesting. So maybe amazing. Finally, we learned I can even say we learned some cool facts about frogs. Finally, we learned some amazing facts about frogs. Okay? And I even can use a vocabulary word here, where they live at, habitat. Finally, we learned some amazing facts about frogs and their natural habitat. Okay, something like that. Now I can write my paragraph. Now I want you to see the paragraph that the student wrote. Okay, and you will see what I'm talking about. I read the text frogs. Okay, frogs should have a capital letter in it. Okay, you have to edit and you have to revise your paper to make it better. I read the text frogs. Frogs is an important text that is mostly about frogs' life cycle. Okay, the text only on one page talked about the frog's life cycle. It was not the whole book. Okay, it was just a page over here, starting with the tadpoles and then right here. That was it. There was nothing else. That's not the main idea. Okay. Did you know that a group of frog eggs is called a frog spawn? Okay, we see a picture of it, but the word is not used. Okay, then she goes on to talk about how frogs first start as a tadpole, then turn into a frog. Some frog eat other frogs. If you see a frog with bright colors, don't touch it because it's poisonous. Okay, where's the punctuation? Where's the capitalization? Frogs first start as a tadpole, period. Capital letter, then turn into a frog, period. Some frogs eat other frogs. Capital S there. Okay. Each frog's have its own sound. One frog. Okay, this is a run-on sentence. Where does the sentence end and begin? Okay, so this is why you have to edit and revise your papers. You just don't write it and say, I'm done. Okay, now if I was grading this probably would get, if I wasn't grading it based off punctuation, okay, this person would require teacher help because I would be helping the child to edit and revise. But the thing is, when you do your writing, it's going to be a graded test. So you have to do it. Okay. So you want to come over here to the stream and you want to use the, you want to use this anchor chart about how to revise and how to edit. Okay, I know that's kind of small there. Trying to see if I can make it bigger. Just trying to see. Well, it's a copy of it. That's why. So, open a new window maybe. Let's see. Okay, well, it's a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger. Okay, just a little bit. All right. So when you revise, you add sentences and words. You might remove sentences and words that you don't need. You move sentences or a word. You substitute words or sentences for better words. You're making it better. When you edit, you are making sure your paragraph has capital letters. You're making sure that you are using words that make sense, and you are making sure you have correct punctuation, and you are making sure that your words are spelled correctly. All right. All right. So I'm going to come over here now, and I'm going to write the framed paragraph based off of my SPO now. All right. I read the text, frogs. Frogs comes in here. So I'm going to underline that. Okay. You type right on it. So you're going to click on underline. Okay. And then you can start typing. I read the text, frogs. Okay. Now, if you don't want to do that, you can take the line out before you write. Okay. So you can do it like this as you go. I read the text, frogs. See, I'm underlining. So the words that I'm writing are underlined. I read the text, frogs. Okay. Here, I would write frogs is an, okay, I want to say frogs is a nonfiction text. So you have to pick the lines out. Okay, I read the text, frogs. Frogs is a nonfiction text. Okay, I don't even want to say text because I have text over here. I'm going to change that to book. Frogs is a nonfiction book that is mostly about Frogs is a nonfiction book that is mostly about, what did I say over here? Gave interesting facts about frogs. Okay. So I need to write something like that. I read the text, frogs. Frogs is a nonfiction book. I may not even want to say that it's mostly about. Okay. I could say important details about frogs, but I don't want to do that. So I read the text, frogs. Frogs is a nonfiction book that, I'm going to take this out, that gives, or that tells interesting facts Frogs is a nonfiction book that tells interesting facts about this amphibian. I don't want to say frogs again. Okay. All right. So we have something now. I read the text Frogs. Frogs is a nonfiction book that tells interesting facts about this amphibian. Okay. The author supports this main idea by using key details to explain how the frog eats and, or we even could say survives. The author supports this main idea by using key details to explain how frogs are unique. We could say that to explain how frogs are unique animals. Okay, they're one of a kind. Okay. In particular, the author, now I'm going over here. In particular, the author explains how frogs that have bright colors are poisonous and warn other predators not to eat them. Okay, so that's what I'm going to type there. In particular, the author explains how poisonous frogs have bright colors that warn their predators not to eat them. Okay. Another key detail that the author included was, frogs make different sounds for different reasons. Frogs, and we can take that line out. So come by the period and you can take it out. Another key detail that the author included was how frogs make different sounds for different reasons. Now, I can change this up a little bit. So I'm kind of like revising here. So instead of me saying frogs make different sounds for different reasons, I can say frogs make different sounds to warn other frogs or call nearby frogs. I can say that. Okay. Frogs make different sounds to warn other frogs of danger or to call nearby frogs. Now, I don't want to say frogs again. So you see, I got frogs in here quite a bit. Another key detail that so now I'm kind of like revising. Another key detail that the author included was how frogs make different sounds to warn other frogs of danger or to call nearby ones. Okay. And now I do my conclusion. Clearly, I'm not using clearly. I'm taking that out. It's going to be finally, we learned some amazing facts about frogs in their natural habitat. Okay. And I'm going to even change that. Okay. But this is my SPO. That's my outline. I don't have to change it there. I just change it in my paper. So I'm going to change this to finally. Finally, one can see. It wasn't one can see. It was finally, we learned some amazing facts about frogs. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to highlight it, Control C, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click Control V to paste right here. Finally, We learned some amazing facts about frogs. And I don't even want natural habitat. So now I'm going to stop the video. In another video, I will revise and edit.